What's up, everybody? Welcome to the lab. I'm your host, Joshua Diaz. That's right. Joshua. Good to see you guys. Good to be here. There we go. How is everybody tonight? You see me now. You see me. You know, for years... not for years, but I've always threatened, not really threatened, but I've always said that I want to go, like faceless, you know what I mean? Like not show my face anymore. So, God, I don't know. I've been, considering that for years, at least 2 years, but I don't know. So it's just always something that, like, I don't know. I always end up coming back to it, like, no, I just want to, blah, 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 blah. And I never do. I don't know why. It never happens. But I do find it. I know that there are. I'm so surprised at how many faceless channels there are, but I've never been one, and I don't think I could ever be one, I guess. I want to watch, but his visual format will give me a cluster headache. Really? Think so? I don't know. I mean, I don't think it's too outlandish. You know, I mean, it's a little busy. Josh, you used to have a moniker for your studio. Oh, you mean the big sign behind me? It was so big and so bright that it like seared my eyes. Like, I need a dimmer one. Oh, I need a name. I got you. That thing, dude, I remember like it was on the lowest setting possible, and then sometimes I would have to like look directly into it. Oh, the poster's still back there. Look, see? I leave it just like that. It was like looking directly into the sun. It was effed in a major way. It sucked. I have seizures and his display don't bug me. Well, that's a good thing. I would never want that to happen. But anyway, so once again, I wanted to say hello. Thank you guys for being here. Thank you for all the love, support for the channel. I did see that Jason, the IT guy, did start his channel, so we'll give him some love here and throw his link out there. When I don't have it right now, but he had talked to me about starting a channel, and look, I'm not a hater, I support it.
Haters are going to hate.
It's true.
You're going to have the haters, right?
Yep, it's true, but not us. What was the name? You know what? I'm not Digital Chaser.
Make it permanent! Make it permanent now!
It's permanent. It's permanent. Every day I come in, there's some new sound. Like Peyton puts these like new sound bites on. He puts these new sound bites on the board, and some of them are so funny. I just look down and there's one that just says "Make it permanent." And it's just some guy screaming, "Make it permanent!" I don't know what it is. I don't know what "make it permanent" means, but I like it.
Make it permanent! Make it permanent now!
Well, you know what? I like that sound, but most of them I make them take down. But that one will keep. We're gonna make it permanent. It's gonna permanently stay there.
Make it permanent! Make it permanent now!
It's so unhinged. Oh God. It's like that might be my new favorite sound bite. Make it permanent! Make it permanent now! Anyway. So that's a newbie. Oh, good Lord. All right. So if you would please hit that like button on the way in. I noticed we'll yeah, I would say probably at some point, I'm sure. I think he just started today. I just heard from him a few hours ago, so I'm happy for him, and I hope it's successful. And I don't see why it wouldn't be. He's a sharp fella, so as long as he makes it permanent.
Make it permanent! Make it permanent now!
That's the most insane thing I've ever heard. Make it permanent! Anyway, so to see that Mr. Enton is headed back to Arizona, to Tucson. And why? I mean, is there something that he knows? I mean, has he been tipped off about something? Now, as Enton goes, I think the rest of the on foot people go, and I think that more people will probably be reconvening back there. So I am a little curious as to why he's headed back, but we'll check out his excuse me, we'll check out his new video. But let me see here. I want to check this.
Savannah.
Hold on. You know who I've really been missing is Dave I've been missing the Mac Attack. I haven't seen much of him. I don't think Nancy broadcasts on the weekends. That's how big she is. She's big time, you know. She's she's not a she's a weekend warrior. So we don't get Is that? I mean, is that the consensus? I mean, we'll watch it here in a minute, but I have not seen the third part of Savannah's interview, and I wanted to do that. I was gonna do it last show, but it was we were pretty busy. But I want to see part 3 because we did. I think we talked about part 2. Give me a second here. Zelensky's back. Like he never left. It would be nice if Brian Enton was able to interview Annie and I don't think they're doing any interviews, guys. I really don't. I think that there's too much speculation around them right now, and I don't see them doing an interview. I really, really don't. I just don't see it. Maybe Enton's going to do a story about Savannah's first day back on the air. But why wouldn't he stay in if that was the case, chat overlay, why would he go back to Arizona? I don't get that. Okay, there we go. Sheriff Bananas quitting, maybe. I wouldn't hold your breath on that. I wouldn't hold your breath on that for 1 second. Well, but that's not happening for a while either. The sheriff recall that's not anytime soon, is it?
Make it permanent! Make it permanent now!
And I really don't think that getting rid of the look, I could be wrong, but I don't think recalling the sheriff is going to solve the case. Personally, that's just what I think. But let's listen to this, and then we'll see what Enton has to say about going back. I'm sure he's not going to give us any real clues.
I will do it for my kids.
Did you wrestle with your faith throughout this? You're resolute and strong like your mama. But did you...
Worst interview of all time, by the way. Like the worst interviewer of all time. It couldn't have been any weirder. This is so weird. Not from Savannah's standpoint, but like, I mean, couldn't we have gotten Al Roker to do this or Carson Daly?
at some point during all of this have to wrestle with it?
Yes.
Yeah.
And I'm not done.
One thing I hate about interviewers is that they do these, like, they make these weird noises, like, while they're interviewing, they go like, Just like, dude, just sit there and wait.
But God doesn't tell us not to wrestle with him. This isn't some cheap faith. And my mom taught me that. God only requires our authentic presence. And that he has. But I never doubted. One of my mom's best friend told me that she had been going through a hard time, and she said to my mom,
Wait, you can hear Macho snoring? You can honestly hear him snoring? You shouldn't be able to hear him snoring. Really? I can't even hear him snoring.
Oh, how have you kept your faith all these years? What? Losing your husband, all the different things that my mom had been through. Like, how, Nancy, how do you keep your faith? And my mom said to her, well, where else would I go? And I hold that with me.
What's up, Rogue? Good to see you.
But faith is how I will stay connected to my mom. God is how I'm holding hands with my mom. And I won't let sadness win. For her, she taught me. See, I saw her grieve. I saw her world shatter. I saw it. And I saw her get up. And I saw her believe. And I saw her love. And I saw her hope. And I saw her smile. And I saw her laugh. I saw her joy. I saw her love of the world and adventure. I saw her belief. I saw her faith. She taught me. She taught all of us. And I may not do it as well as her, but I will do it. I will do it for my kids. I will. I will not fall apart. I will not let whoever did this take my children's mother from them. I will not let them take my joy. They will not take my sister's joy. They will not take my brother's joy. They will not take our love. They will not take our faith. But our anguish is real. We need help. We need someone to tell the truth.
Yes.
I have no anger in my heart. I have hope in my heart. I have love. But this family needs peace.
Yes. Yes.
I mean, what a horrible interviewer. I mean, seriously, it's enough. Just let her talk. Nod your head, but the incessant, it's too much.
I don't think we deserve anything more
Just let her talk.
or less than any other person. We don't say, why us, why me, why anything. If I say why me for this horrible thing, then I have to say why me for all the beautiful blessings of my life. Well then, yes, why? I don't know why. I'm grateful for my blessings. And I'm heartbroken for the sorrow.
Yes.
I'm heartbroken.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
I am crushed, but I am not abandoned. We are not alone.
I don't think she was this bad in 1 and 2. I didn't think so.
Do we need an answer? And someone has it in their power to help. It is never too late. And when you do, the warmth of love and forgiveness that will come will be greater than can be imagined. I know what it is to be forgiven.
Yes.
And there is no greater joy.
Yes.
And that joy awaits. Whoever can hear this and find it in their heart to help.
Yes. You're focusing on people in Tucson. Somebody there must have seen or known something and maybe forgot about it or didn't pay attention to it.
How can someone vanish
Yeah.
without a trace?
Yeah.
How? Someone knows something, even if that something is someone's been acting strange for the last 7-8 weeks, even if it's just that. Somebody knows. And maybe somebody's afraid. And I understand that. But our hearts are in agony.
Yeah.
We can't breathe. We can't live. We can't go on. We can't be at peace. We can't go forward. We have to know what happened to her.
Yes. You talked about coming back to New York. One of the other enduring images for me was walking into Studio 1A and seeing you there, speaking to everybody. What was it like for you, walking back in there?
I really wanted to come and see everybody.
Yeah.
I just love this beautiful place that we call home, where we get to come and be every day. And I know how much people have prayed for me and loved me. All the people that you see on TV, you know, and then all the people that you don't. All the notes and messages that I have received are just so beautiful. I just wanted to be with my family. They're my family too.
You said something when you were there, and you said, I don't know how to come back, and I don't know how not to come back.
Yeah, that's how I feel when I look at the Today Show, which is the answer to all my dreams, actually better than my dreams.
So how about coming back? I know everyone's wondering.
So it's hard to imagine doing it because it's such a place of joy and lightness, and I can't come back and try to be something that I'm not. But I can't not come back because it's my family. I think it's part of my purpose right now. I want to smile. And when I do, it will be real. And my joy will be my protest. My joy will be my answer. And being there is joyful. And when it's not, I'll say so. And I've been so grateful to have this family. I consider this my family, my greater family. And when times are hard, you want to be with your family. And I want to be with my family. And so I don't know if I can do it. I don't know if I'll belong anymore. But I would like to try. I would like to try. And I'm not going to be the same. But maybe it's like that old poem, more beautiful in the broken places.
I mean, wow. That was put.
Oh no, what's with these stupid bell sounds? We're about to change channels. Oh God, no, please wait. I'll stop now because you said that. Like, I care if you're going to change channels or not. Keep it to yourself, dum-dum. Well, let me see. Jason, hi. Josh, I'm not able to comment in regular chat with thanks to your inspiration, by the way. Very good, brother. I appreciate you. Yeah, I think, what is it, like it's like 5 minutes or something? What was the hard question? What was that? What's with all these stupid bell sounds? All right. Yeah, I dig the bell too. Oh, what do you think happened to your mom? I don't think. I don't know. That was just Savannah. Savannah was fine. I had no problem with her interview, but the interviewer was just. Oh my golly, it was rough. That was a rough one. I gotta be honest. Have a reason for the bell? Yeah, because I like it. Every time, if you couldn't understand why I was ringing the bell, every time she made a little grunt noise, I rung the bell. I mean, it's not that friggin' hard, is it? Oh my God, dude. Don't let's not just, oh God. Serenity now. Insanity later. I mean, seriously, you couldn't get why I was ringing the bell. Okay, right, whatever. It's like, it was pretty obvious, wasn't it? Judge. Anyway, I think we also put Jason's link in the chat. So go ahead and sub up to Jason. We'll help him on his new journey as well. Just don't play any bells, Jason, or people will lose their shit on you. Trust me. Leave the bells to me. People don't like them. They go, oh my God. There's a bell. A lunacy. Oh, the Taco Bell gong. Bong. Oops. And guess what? And the bell's not going anywhere. The bell's permanent.
Make it permanent! Make it permanent now!
It's been permanent. Here we go. Yeah, I don't. You know what? I don't think that. Let me see here. Hold on. Let's see. I don't think she was there to ask her the hard questions. To be honest with you, I just don't think that's why she was there. Personally, I don't know why. I didn't get that at all. Not saying that she shouldn't have. I mean, she could have, but yeah, the bells are permanent. Three parts is to maximize. Obviously, the reach of the interviews. I mean, they instead of doing it all at one time, they wanted people to keep coming back. That's sort of like, the clips and they know what they're doing. They don't give a shit. There is no actual importance of the bell. It's not important. It's just like I was just doing it. If you're new to the show, you might not understand, but we're not boring over here, okay? I'm just saying, we're not. This isn't your standard.
Jesus.
We try and entertain a little bit at least. Banfield's last detective guest showed everyone how a timeline investigation works. When was that? when did Banfield do another one? Bring back the Taco Bell bell. Dong. I think I did used to use it. Huh? I don't think, but I'm saying I don't think that was the point of that interview. I think it was more to sort of ease her back into, being there, and it wasn't like she was never going to like press her.
Hey guys,
Hold on. I don't know if I can replace Zelensky, but I can add.
thanks so much for checking out my show. I really, really appreciate it. Please click to subscribe. Today is day 57 in the search for Nancy Guthrie. I'm actually in the airport right now. I am on my way back to Arizona to look into a couple of new things involving the Nancy Guthrie case. So I'll keep you guys posted on that. It's actually busy in the airport, but the TSA lines, you always hear about how bad they are, but I got through really, really fast. So that was a relief. I got to the airport super early, but made it through quickly. In this episode, a couple of things. There was this deputy in Pima County who was arrested for kidnapping, actually, it's a crazy story. I'm going to explain to you the circumstances in that. A lot of people are sort of thinking, could it be connected to the Nancy Guthrie case because it's a kidnapping charge? I don't think so. You'll hear why when I explain it in a second. Also, a couple of new things that Savannah Guthrie said in the Dateline episode over the weekend that I'm going to talk about. And I have my friend and retired FBI agent Steve Moore on to kind of go over some of these new things that Savannah said, and also some of what she said at the end of last week.
Thank you to Kelsey for giving us the Mac attack.
Nancy not having any shoes on and the pajamas. I wanted to get his take on a lot of those things. So I'm going to get into all of it in this episode.
The Mac attack riding the golden rocket. Yeah, Steve Moron. That's a weird one. Look at the Mac attack.
And investigates.
I don't know if Mac will stay there forever. I don't know if we'll make it permanent or not.
Make it permanent! Make it permanent now!
Hey guys, so again, I'm in the airport, headed back to Arizona. Going to get to a couple of things here. First of all, that arrest that everybody's talking about, this deputy who was arrested in Pima County for kidnapping. Again, no indication it's connected to Nancy Guthrie at all, but just still interesting since it's a kidnapping charge.
Mr. Reynolds, this is the time for your initial appearance. You were here this morning on charges of kidnapping. That is a felony offense. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you.
So his name is 22-year-old Travis Reynolds. According to an interim complaint, Reynolds was transporting a female detainee to the Pima County Jail when he allegedly made inappropriate remarks about her appearance. He allegedly shared a vape pen with the handcuffed woman and told her that he could help her with her case, and allegedly suggested that they go to a hotel and have sex.
Wow.
Detectives allege that Reynolds also showed the woman explicit videos and delayed taking her to jail. And she said that she felt intimidated. This is what prosecutors said at the hearing.
This particular offense that is alleged is very, very concerning. Given the occupation of the accused and the power dynamics between him and the victim, there's indications that this might have happened before. The victim would like to see he shouldn't be returning back to the jail or incident location. No weapons, no contact. The victim in this case is very afraid of this defendant because of that power position that he had, of the power dynamics, and that he might retaliate against her.
So again, on the surface level, just from what I can tell, it doesn't seem like it has anything to do with the Nancy Guthrie case. But again, interesting it's a kidnapping charge. Interesting that you've got a Pima County deputy who would do something like this allegedly. So I'll stay on top of it, but wanted to get you guys updated on that. Also, you guys remember there was the Savannah Guthrie interview at the end of last week on the Today Show. Well, there was also a Dateline episode this weekend where there was more of the interview that was aired, and I wanted to give you guys some of the highlights. She talked a lot about her sister Annie and her brother-in-law Tommaso, and how her mom Nancy wanted to remain independent. And one thing that was comforting is that Annie and Tommaso lived so close to Nancy that they were able to keep an eye on her and look after her. She said that no one took better care of my mom than my sister and brother-in-law, which I thought was really interesting, just because obviously there's been all these rumors and speculation about, is a family member possibly involved? And it seems like she's really gone out of her way to defend, especially her brother-in-law, saying that no one took better care of Nancy than her sister and her brother-in-law, Tommaso. She also said that Annie, and she calls him Tommy, Tommaso Tommy, made it possible for Nancy to stay in the house that she loved because they were close to her. They let her have her space, but obviously they just lived like 10 minutes away. So it sounds like they were really the primary ones, just because they were so close, who kept an eye on Nancy. So that was the new stuff that I caught from the Dateline episode. Obviously, there was the stuff that Savannah said at the end of last week, that the back doors plural, were propped open when Annie and Tommaso arrived, that Nancy was taken in her pajamas with no shoes on, her phone and wallet and personal items were left behind. And I wanted to talk to retired FBI agent Steve Moore, a friend of mine, about some of these new revelations, what it means to him, what he thinks all of this means to the investigation. How coordinated was Savannah's interview with the FBI? Could her interview and her going back to the Today Show impact the investigation maybe in a good way? So this is my conversation with Steve. Steve, thank you for joining me. I really appreciate it, as always. This Savannah interview, it's just, the anguish that she is facing and has been, and the fact that it's now been almost 2 months, and her strength. I've got a lot of emotions coming out of it.
I don't want to cover
But in terms of the
Brian's
investigation,
logo.
there was some new information that came out, and I kind of want to go through a few of these items with you and get your take.
I don't know.
The back door, and she said doors, actually plural, the back doors were propped open, she said, when her sister and brother-in-law arrived and Nancy was gone. What do you make of that?
That doesn't make sense to what I know. So what I know to be true, or at least alleged to be true from the investigation, because Nancy, there was some blood belonging to Nancy on the front porch. So why, in the front porch is where the camera was. If you could get into the back door, in and out of the back door, why would you even use the front? So there would be a lot of questions I would have. Number one, was there any indication of entry marks, breaking and entering, or whether was that door unlocked in the back? That would be important to know. The other thing is, how were the doors propped open? If they were propped open by a mechanism that exists on the door, then you got to ask, how did they know that? How did they know that in advance? If it was propped open by wedges or something like that, that they brought with them, say in a backpack, then you're saying this person is.
I don't even know what this means, Matt, but I think you deserve a timeout, not a block. I just think maybe just a little 5-minute, go to the corner, because I'm not sure. I don't know, but I think you deserve just a little tiny timeout. Just, that's all. Just go hang out somewhere. Come back when you're on better behavior.
Case the house and knows they want to prop those doors open. If they propped them open with just one of Nancy's shoes or a chair or something like that, it would lead me to believe it was more of an impromptu decision. And that's, law enforcement is going to be trying to find out.
He knows.
Through every single bit of evidence
Matt knows what he's doing.
Was this highly cased, highly prepared for, or were these a bunch of, fools who came in and thought that they could make $1 million and likely have ended up taking the life of an innocent person.
One thing that I thought about, just kind of visually seeing the house in my mind.
And I like him. I like Matt. I don't even know who he is. I like him. But, you know, he got his comment in, he got it on the board, and that was the price of doing business. Okay? It was quid pro quo. He got it through, he got it on the screen, and then he got timed out. It's okay. I mean, it was transactional. That's all it was. It's not a big deal.
You know, we saw obviously the suspect go to the front door on the camera, and the camera got pulled. And we know there's a security gate on the front door. Could they have gone in through the back and you know, that was the way in, and then taken her out the front, unlocked the front from the inside? And because you could pull a car right up to the front door there. That's where the driveway goes, which would kind of make sense if she's got these mobility issues. Savannah said she can't even walk to the mailbox most days. So maybe they got in through the back and took her out through the front.
All right. Proud American citizen, proud American patriot 76. I'm guessing that the 76 has something to do with 1776, which would have made you negative 290 years old. How many times are you going to bring up Gavin Newsom in the span of 3 minutes? I'm just curious. I want to know. That's all. Just curious, okay?
Yeah, and I totally understand that concept and why that would seem to be a logical thing. Two things I would have to ask before I could come down.
Yeah, there's no E on Newsom.
With, you know, all my weight on the ice on that one is number one, if they were bringing her out the front and they were both ambulatory themselves, why did they need two doors blocked open? Having doors blocked open means you're taking something out of them and you can't use your hands to keep the doors open. And it would be wider than, say, one person. So maybe two people carrying somebody out, things like that. So that would lead me to believe that the back door is how they took her out. However, there's blood on the front porch. And as far as could they have gotten in through that gated door, it would depend on two things. Number one, did she lock it? And a lot of people don't. The other thing would be, how is that gated door locked? Is there a key on the outside and a little switch type mechanism on the inside? Or is there a key on the outside and the inside? Because
so that's what I don't understand. So there's are they sliding doors? Are they just regular doors, French doors? I don't think that the blood was planted. I just don't. I can't tell you why I think that. It just doesn't, to me, make logical sense. It might to you, and I will respect your thought process on that. But I think that she was brought out through the front door while bleeding. I don't know how she was brought out, but I just don't think that was. I don't think that it was planted. I know that's a theory by some, and okay, fine. But I don't think that, and so I don't know if they were sliding glass doors or not.
If it was locked on the outside and the inside, they couldn't have gotten out that door unless they knew where the key was, unless Nancy gave it to them. So the problem is, for me, seeing blood on the front porch and the fact that, yeah, it probably would have been a lot easier to get the car right by the front door, makes a lot of sense for the front door. A propped open back door flies in the face of that, really. I don't know what else you're trying to get out of there, unless they made it, they changed their mind in the middle of this, which is also an indication of amateurs. So I'm just not sure where this goes. If you could get in through the back door, why would you go anywhere where there was a camera?
God.
Yeah.
I don't get that either. I
I'm tired of backdoor talk, honestly.
mean, and your average burglar knows right away now that the first thing you're going to be dealing with is in most places is a ring camera at any place that has valuables enough to take.
And she said that her brother, who was a fighter pilot and also worked in intelligence, apparently, was very quick to say, I think that she was kidnapped, even on the phone with Savannah, which I guess some have been critical of that, like, oh, how would he know that so soon? But that didn't really surprise me, actually. I mean, if you're getting the call that the back doors are propped open, there's blood on the front porch, your mom, who can't even walk to the mailbox, has disappeared, I would probably think the same thing.
I would too. I mean, what you have to come down to is you have to eliminate very quickly any other motive.
Isn't that so? Matt says, and thank you for redeeming yourself, Matt. There was also blood inside the house at the front door, and from what I understand, hold on. From what I understand, that came from Banfield's source. Again, is that right? I think his last name is Moron.
Does she have money? No, Nancy does, or Savannah does.
I'm not kidding either. I think that's his last name. I'm not being mean.
Has she made anybody angry? Not bloody likely. It comes all the way down. You step down for all possible motives, and there's only one or two left. And one of them, sexual assault or something you don't even want to talk about. And kidnapping would not even come into the equation unless there was somebody in her family, in Nancy's family, who was well known and perceived, at least, as very wealthy.
Which that would be Savannah. I mean, and like she said in the interview, she's coming to terms with that, which was kind of one of the more emotional parts. Yeah, I mean, you can imagine the guilt she's feeling.
Definitely.
Which is
I can only imagine it. I've never been through that. I hope I never do.
Right. Yeah.
This is definitely a targeted kidnapping. I don't know many people that think. I don't know anybody really. In general, I don't know anybody. Not that thinks that it wasn't. I just don't know anybody. I don't really know anybody. All right, back to this.
Absolutely. She also said that she was taken in her pajamas with no shoes on. I guess I wondered how she would know that, but it would make sense, I guess, if she's older and.
I don't know. I don't know if he's. I don't know. He's in. I'm not sure. Maybe. Probably. I mean, it seemed like it the other day when he was on the show. I think that all the known evidence, it has sort of pointed in that direction, but that's the known evidence. We don't know.
Wears probably the same couple of pairs of shoes, and the sister Annie helps take care of her. You would know what shoes she wears, and the shoes are there. But what did that say to you?
That they had inventoried her clothes and her slippers and things like that as well as they could. And I know from taking care of my elderly parents, at a point you start to know what they're going to be wearing, because though they might have a large closet of clothes that they used to wear, once they become less mobile, they tend to get in the same type of clothing every day and not change comfortable shoes and things like that. So my guess is that there was probably a pair of slippers visible, possibly by the door, or.
Yeah, Eric, I know he says, Nano's family is cleared. I know that he says that, but I don't think anybody actually believes that. I mean, they very well could be cleared, and they very well may not have anything to do with this. I just don't think that people are buying anything that he really has to say at this point.
You're going to have the haters, right? Haters are going to hate.
They actually have a footprint of some type of Nancy's. But I'm just speculating as to how they would get it. I'm not trying to infer that that's how they did find it.
In your mind, when you envision this all going down with the information we have, why wouldn't they let her put on her slippers? Whoever did this.
Same reason they wouldn't let her put on her or get her medicine. And that's still something I cannot come up with. I mean, if you're going to kidnap somebody, you have to have them alive. I mean, why would you kidnap somebody and not take care of their physical needs? It could be that she was non-ambulatory at that point, and I'm just going to leave it at that. And if that were the case, they wouldn't necessarily want
non-ambulatory. Just say dead.
To put slippers on somebody they were carrying. What would be the point? But then you got to think, where are you taking her? And so it chills me the fact that they're taking her out of the house and not making any efforts towards her long-term comfort or survival.
Or maybe she had these heart issues. You get woken in the middle of the night like that. Maybe she had a heart attack, and this whole plan went awry.
I thought about that, but then I also thought that we might find some indications of that on her pacemaker.
Yeah, that's a good point. That if that happened still right there in the house and it was still connected to the iWatch or the phone.
Because I think that thing would start hitting hard if she had had a heart attack of some kind.
Yeah,
but again, I'm not a cardiologist.
Savannah.
Really? Could have fooled me. Yeah, I don't know anything about pacemakers either.
Also said that her phone, purse, personal items were left behind. I guess that plays into what we're talking about. I mean, if she was taken, why would they give her an opportunity to take her phone?
Right. Even if they were going to take her and keep her alive and safe and comfortable, they wouldn't take her phone.
Yeah. The one thing that really surprised me in the interview with Savannah, because a lot of these things I had either heard or kind of expected. I had heard some things about the back door. But the one thing that I was surprised by was that she said...
let me answer this. Well, Mary says that she wouldn't feel comfortable with a cardiologist, Dr. Moron. That's a good point. We discussed this on the show, not yesterday, but the day before with John Lamb, Chris McDonough, and Dr. Gary. And I think that I don't know. I don't know if I was the only one that thought that it wasn't weird, or because she was missing. So that, to me, that the only logical explanation would be, well, she's been kidnapped, and that it would be for money. That's what I would think. Why else would you kidnap an 84-year-old lady of somebody who has money? The mother of, and somebody said, well, Savannah's not that well known, nationally or whatever. And maybe that's true. But I mean, in that area, people know who she is. In that area, people know who her mother is. They know where her mother lives. She's been on the Today Show. A lot of people watch the Today Show, but people know her from that area.
That she believes 2 of the ransom notes are legit. Because I was just starting to think that all of those ransom notes were just phony people just trying to get, and I think some of them obviously were. But what do you make of that? That, she believes 2 of them are real.
I think if the FBI was telling her that they didn't believe they were real, she wouldn't believe they were real. Nancy Guthrie is a very intelligent woman, and she is obviously smart enough to take the advice or trust the people in law enforcement who are experts in this. So my guess is that that's something she was told. And this whole ransom note thing has worked as hard as it's been on poor Savannah and her sister and brother and the family. It's been crippling for the kidnappers, because if you say that, or if it comes out in public that you are sending your ransom letters or ransom notes, communications to a very specific organization, say TMZ or the local network affiliate or something like that, then everybody gets that address. If the kidnappers can get that address, you can get that address, and you could probably get it in a 5-minute Google search. If they had somehow
I don't believe
obtained the email.
I mean, how many people have they polled on that, to be honest with you? She's been there for 40 years. They know who she is. Even the I already forget Numbnuts' name that was arrested, or he was detained in his Range Rover. Her mother knew who she was. I don't believe that for a second.
Addresses or communication addresses of anyone in that family, Nancy or her sister or her brother, then they can say it was sent to Nancy, but nobody would know where to send false ones.
Right.
And so I think the kidnappers made their kidnap notes actually questionable, because they made it that in a way that other people could just pile on and look like theirs. Plus, information was released on the kidnapping notes or the ransom notes that they could mimic.
Yeah, and I was thinking back to what I remember reporting about these notes and learning about them, and we were told there was information in a couple of them that only the kidnapper would know the location of certain things in Nancy's house. So that may be a reason that Savannah is saying that she thought it was legit. But also, do you remember in that one social media post, Savannah said, "We received your note, and this is like a follow-up post, and we understand." And I've just wondered if they communicated that Nancy was no longer with us.
Eric, and not only that, but she was on the Today Show not even that long ago. She's been on there more than once.
That would be...
The Today Show has an incredible reach. But not only that, she's been there for 40 friggin' years. It's not like they're new to the area.
That would be kind of unusual and really kind of macabre, but it wouldn't be out of the question.
They showed her in her bedroom making a bed with hospital corners, for God's sakes.
Obviously, whoever sent that, and if it maybe we'll just, for the sake of argument, say it was the kidnapper, they have not been able to prove life. And there's probably a very hard reason for that. And so they made a statement in the second email that they wanted the Guthries and the FBI to understand completely. And so much so that Nancy and the FBI felt the need to say, I'm sorry, Savannah and the FBI felt the need to say, "We understand what you're saying." And then she starts, Savannah starts talking about closure. And that, to me, just not...
God, I wonder if we'll ever see, I wonder if the public will ever see those ransom notes. I mean, that would just be so curious. That would be so curious. I would be so curious to see. It would be fascinating to see those. Obviously, we don't need to see them. We're not entitled to see them. I'm just saying that it would be fascinating.
Not sound like somebody who is who is still having hopes of getting her back. And I go back to the high school girl from Georgia who was killed in Aruba,
Natalie Holloway.
by Natalie Holloway and Joran van der Sloot.
Yep.
Yeah, that guy just tried to do himself in the other day. Joran van der Sloot. That guy sucks, man.
At first he said, give me some money and I'll help you. And now they wouldn't do that. And then later on, he said, if you pay me money, I will lead you to her body. So at that point, maybe they changed the negotiating point to, we will show you where to find her. Again, this is just speculation. This is what I'm doing, looking in, and I am in no way, shape, or form trying to say this is what the FBI is dealing with. But these are things that...
Yeah, Joran van der Sloot tried to extort Natalie Holloway's mother for I think it was like 10 grand or something. I don't know.
Would lead me to believe that that's what the FBI might have been dealing with.
Are you surprised the FBI wasn't able to trace? I mean, we know that these notes went to at least the local TV stations, and they weren't direct emails. They went through like a contact us form, from what I was told. But are you surprised that I guess I still would have thought the FBI would have had some way to track the person down through the note?
Yeah, I'm surprised, but even in the few years since I've left the FBI, technology has just raced forward. And so I may be having a little bit of the 24 syndrome, believing that Kiefer Sutherland has this thing where he can just click it and people's faces come up.
That show's like 25 years old.
When I was in, I remember there were some really specific limitations, at least at some points in my career. For instance, if you got
that show sucked, dude. I hated that show. I had a friend that was obsessed with it. And he was like, dude, did you watch 24? And I was like, no.
A phone call into a trunk line, say, I think this was in the late 90s, we got a call, a threat through a trunk line where they can just send it off to different extensions and things like that. There was no way we could trace that phone call off of.
It's like, dude, how many terrorists can that guy save? Or how many terrorists could he capture to save the world? How many nuclear bombs could he stop from being shipped out of Yugoslavia to Shitstan or wherever?
That trunk line, just because of the way it was configured.
He only has 24 hours. The whole season takes place in 24 hours. Like, who gives a shit?
And so there may be electronic and technical digital things that prevent the FBI from getting information.
Makes sense. What do you think it means that Savannah did this interview? And I guess what I'm getting at is, I was thinking to myself, if the FBI was really hot on the trail of someone, would they have advised her not to do this? Like, please just continue to be quiet. We're almost there.
250. Damn.
I mean, do you think this is an indication that the investigation is not progressing right now, or could it mean the opposite? I mean, what do you think?
I mean, it could mean that. I'm not sure it is. From my time in the FBI, I just know cases like this were never put down. I mean, one of the hard things when you're an agent working these things is forcing yourself to go home and go to sleep. And you wake up in the middle of the night saying, what am I doing here? I better get back to work. And the agents tend not to let go of this, especially when they become close to the family and they're frustrated by not being able to find it. It becomes like Moby Dick to Captain Ahab. It becomes an obsession for them. And so I don't for 1 minute believe that even if they've reduced the number of agents assigned to the case, that they are expending any less efforts on it. So what I would
24 sucked.
suggest is that Savannah realizes that she has to resume her normal life, and she just can't appear one day on the Today Show and say, I'm back. There has to be some closure, for not closure, but at least some type of agreement on where she is, that she is still in a hard place, nothing's resolved, but I have to go on with life. And I think that was a way of saying, I'm going to resume my life one of these days soon, and you're part of that life. You deserve to know where I am, to all the people who follow her. And I believe that probably the FBI, anytime Savannah would say anything to the press, the FBI probably sees it as an opportunity to send messages to potential kidnappers, and they may have had a part in that. I'd be surprised if they didn't. But they're certainly not going to tell Savannah to say the FBI is doing a good job or the sheriffs are doing a good job and all this. That's not what they're there for. They are there simply to say, appeal to somebody. There is the kidnapper.
Why do you guys think that Brian is going back to Arizona? Any specific reason? Does he have like a little tipsky that something's going down? Why is he going back now after what he's only been gone, a week and a half? What else does he have to do? I mean, I don't know. I mean, why would he have to go back?
May not have or the people.
He said a week ago he was going to go back. Yeah, but it pays the bills like from where he's at. I mean, he didn't have to be there.
Takers may not have a conscience at all. They may just be incredibly evil people, but somewhere, somebody down the line that knows them does. And eventually that may be where the break in this case comes.
Do you think the interview, I mean, we're all hopeful that it will make a difference, but I'm just thinking the $1 million reward has been out there for a while. Does her speaking this way, do you think it could actually persuade someone?
And like it's going into like the hottest. He's going to sweat his bag off, dude. If he thought it was hot before.
Yeah, I think there's a possibility. At this point, early on in the case, you say that's a low probability. At this point, you'd say any probability is worth doing. You don't go for the best shot. You go for the only shots you have. And so I think that's where we are with this one. And I think it could, as much as this is, follow me on this, but as much as this is wearing Savannah and her family down terribly, you saw that she is not giving up. She is not surrendering. Even if she gets no closure on this, she is not surrendering herself to the kidnapper. She is not taking away her own kid's mother just because of what they did. She is strong. She is continuing. I
thought that was classy. I thought that was a classy way to put it, to be honest with you. I thought I was doing the right thing. I'm sorry.
In the worst times of her life, you are seeing the best of her coming out. That's, I think, the best thing you can say about somebody. The type of people who take people like Nancy, when things get tough, they get worse. They are cowards from the beginning, and sooner or later, something's going to break. And people who are watching this, who have a suspicion.
Eric, I co-signed the watching of Breaking Bad. It's a fantastic show.
Even that, this, geez, it sounds like this thing over here. sooner or later, somebody's going to do it. And I think the fact that they haven't done it for money means that the best chance to get them would to be decency.
Do you think when she gets to, she says she's going to go back on April 6th at the Today Show. So she'll be on it, every morning, I guess, like she was before, and she becomes a part of so many Americans' lives again, and we see her every day. Could that impact the investigation? I mean, could whoever do this try to reach out to her again because suddenly she's back in, the limelight again on TV every day? Like, do you see that component impacting things?
Yeah, it could be. And right now, I believe probably that the FBI has at least a tentative profile on the person who did
over
this.
his face.
And so they will have an idea whether this person says,
thank you.
I screwed it up, nothing happened, I'm going to walk away, go back to my life and try to live the rest of my life and never have a speeding ticket. Or if the person's, wait a minute, you can't brush me aside like that. You can't ignore me. You can't go back to your life. I am in charge of you. This is me controlling you. And if that's the kind of person that they believe this thing is that took Nancy, then yeah, it could cause them to act out a little bit. It's all going to depend on the unknown. What kind of person did this?
Yeah, I guess I'm just wondering, like, what's the next chapter in all of this? Is there, because it's already such a bizarre case with so many strange twists and turns. And I just think back to when we got the video for the first time from the front doorbell camera. It was just this, like, this is a horror movie moment. Does this all go quiet now, or is there going to be another really dramatic turn? That's.
I've never seen Suits. I've seen Dexter. I've seen Breaking Bad, The Sopranos. What else? I've never seen Peaky Blinders, but I haven't taken that off the table.
That's kind of what I've been wondering about.
I think it's going to be a little bit like the search for the missing Malaysia airliner. What was that, 470 or 370?
Yeah, I think 370. Yeah, MH370.
Yeah, I think what you're going to see.
I was obsessed with MH370 for so long. I used to watch. Yeah, Yellowstone. I watched that too. I used to watch everything about MH370 that I could. I was fascinated by that, and now I don't watch anything on it.
Is for the next year or so a full-time effort on this case. You're going to have, instead, most agents have 5 to 10 cases. Some have 20 cases assigned to them, depending on what they investigate.
I did watch Lost. I liked Lost a lot, actually.
I would say that you are going
I watched Boardwalk Empire, too.
to have this case assigned.
I watched the first 3 seasons of Game of Thrones.
To one or two people who do nothing but this for the next year or two of their career. And so that is a significant, and by the way, that's the minimum. I'm not saying that more won't be. I'm just saying that the FBI is not going to give this to somebody and say, this is one of your 5 cases. They're going to say, no, this is your job right now. And that will continue at full pace as long as incoming evidence and leads justify that. If it goes completely cold and nothing's come in for a year and you can't make heads or tails of it, they'll probably switch it to a different agent or two and try to see if they can work it. And then what's going to happen is it's going to be possibly semi-dormant. But I think you're talking years down the road.
I think with MH70, they some parts, some small parts of it washed up on shores somewhere. I can't really remember, but yeah, was it Indonesia? Yeah, some of it was found, but just little parts of it. Nothing, indicating what happened to it. Obviously, it's in the ocean somewhere, but I think that they want the black box, and I don't even know if the black box would still work or not. I mean, you know, if this was like, I don't know. It's just a mystery what happened. I tend to think that the pilot did flip out too. Both of them, something, I don't know. Pop and I have watched all 856 seasons of Finding Bigfoot. You know, I had an interview with one of those guys from Finding Bigfoot. I can't remember. It wasn't the enormous dude, Bobo. It was
At DBlanco5223 donated $4.99 through Super Chat.
Can't remember.
Q, since Savannah told us she believed a couple of those ransom letters were actually true, so why did she not pay them? Love you.
You know what? I don't know, and I love you too. That's a great. I think they wanted proof of life. I mean, I think that is proof of life, and I'll tell you that. I mean, I think that that's what they wanted. I think they wanted that. You know what you never will hear on the show Finding Bigfoot, though? Hey, we found Bigfoot. I have not watched the Yellowstone spinoff, no.
And every time a new piece of information comes.
Shit.
This isn't your average podcast. From secret government experiments to toxic cover-ups poisoning communities, News Nation's Natasha Zuvez uncovers what the powerful want hidden.
The search spans nation into her mother's abduction. First time revealing new details about the ongoing investigation into her mother's abduction. Nancy Guthrie was taken from her Arizona home in the overnight hours of February 1st and has not been seen or
I haven't watched Landman either.
Heard from since. The search spans nationwide. One Milwaukee man now offering a $100,000 reward for information leading to the arrest of Guthrie's kidnapper. Sunday marks 8 weeks since she was reported missing, and some new details about that day coming to light this week. Here is News Nation correspondent Brian Enton with more tonight.
Natasha, this interview really is just so heartbreaking. I mean, the agony that Savannah Guthrie is going through, the fact that it's now been almost 2 months since her mom, Nancy, went missing, literally just vanishing from her home outside Tucson in the middle of the night. The 2 back doors were propped open. That's a new piece of information that came from Savannah. Savannah says that her mom was taken in her pajamas without shoes.
What I did watch was just, I think it was yesterday. I watched, if you have Netflix, it's on Netflix now, Nuremberg with Michael Shannon, Russell Crowe, and whatever the other guy's name is. He plays the therapist. Very good movie.
There was blood found at the front of the house, which we knew. We were able to get video of that soon after all of this happened. But it's still such a mystery.
It's just like heartbreaking.
And Savannah says that they don't have much information. From what we know, there are no solid leads. There's been no arrest. Savannah says, though, that she's determined to get through this, leaning on her faith. She's determined not to let this ruin her life.
I will not let whoever did this take my children's mother from them. I will not let them take my joy. They will not take my sister's joy. They will not take my brother's joy. They will not take our love. They will not take our faith. But our anguish is real. Mm-hmm. We need help. We need someone to tell the truth.
Mm-hmm. Really just so heartbreaking to hear Savannah Guthrie explain what she's going through, what her family is going through. She does plan, though, to return to the Today Show on April 6th. Natasha?
Yeah, Brian Enton with that tonight. Thank you. And as the
It's been a long time since I watched a new series. I think the last series that I watched was Yellowstone. I haven't watched many TV series in quite a while. Mostly because I don't like sit around that much anymore. But Excuse me.
Search for Nancy Guthrie continues. One key piece of evidence could give us the break in the case. We need DNA. And a new episode of my podcast, The Truth of the Matter, was just posted to News Nation's YouTube page tonight, looking at if investigative genetic genealogy could hold the key. Here's a preview.
Oh, dude, I used to binge TV shows.
The FBI is honing in on key dates in the Nancy Guthrie case. Investigators now asking the public to focus on several specific dates: January 11th, January 24th, and the early morning hours of February 1st, raising new questions about whether the person responsible may have been near her home before she vanished, if there was planning or any digital or biological evidence left behind. I spoke with Mark Garagos. He's a renowned defense attorney known for representing everyone from Sean P. Diddy Combs to Michael Jackson to the Menendez brothers. He's been closely tracking the Guthrie case. This is what he told me.
I think what they've done here, if I had to guess, is they have located some tracking type evidence that suggests that a similar somebody who was in the area weeks before and then 8 days before also corresponds to the night before.
Weeks stretching on and nothing but agony for.
I'll show it here. Do you think that Nancy Grace and Brian Anton ever get together and watch Lab After Dark, binge, order pizza, and hate on us? Probably not. I would hope so.
You're going to have the haters, right?
Savannah and the Guthrie family, continuously asking the public for their help and not to forget.
Everyone is looking for you, Mommy, everywhere. We believe our mom is still out there. We need your help. We need to know where she is. We need her to come home.
Oh yeah, Nana's watches for sure.
Haters are going to hate.
It is never too late to do the right thing.
You're going to have the haters, right?
And we are here. We are in agony. It is unbearable.
Another potential key, investigative genetic genealogy, the technology used to find Brian Kohberger and identify the Golden State Killer. A woman at the forefront of this technique believes it's simply a matter of time before genetic genealogy solves the Guthrie case, and that there can be lessons learned from one of her previous cases, that of 12-year-old Michelle Welch. In 1986, she took her two little sisters to a park to play in Tacoma, Washington. She left them briefly to make them sandwiches. Her sisters found a restroom, and when they came back, Michelle's bike was there, the lunches were there, Michelle was not. That night, searchers found her body. The sixth grader had been sexually assaulted and murdered. The case,
Dude, McDonough's been calling them nonads now for days.
Went cold for decades. No one knew who killed her. That was until over 30 years later, police hired Cece Moore, who solved the crime within hours. Yes, hours, using investigative genetic genealogy. She used a DNA sample from the crime scene to build a family tree, which led her to the killer. Gary Hartman, a psych ward.
I remember one time he called Brian on my show one time. He called Brian Kohberger Butt Burger.
Nurse married to a psychologist.
I don't know why. I just thought it was funny.
Just still living in that same area where he took Michelle's life. The confirmation coming after detectives tailed him, getting his DNA from a brown paper napkin at a restaurant. Well, Cece Moore has solved more than 300 cases, and she believes investigative genetic genealogy will crack the Nancy Guthrie case. Here she is on the Truth of the Matter podcast. What are your overarching thoughts?
This lady's a baddie. Certified.
About the Nancy Guthrie case and what genetic genealogy can do here. What are the lessons that you've
not Cece
learned?
If they can get a viable profile from her actual kidnapper, he will be identified through investigative genetic genealogy if no other avenue works. It will happen. Oh, I don't even like to think of this, but if there is a second crime scene that is discovered or her, remains, then that gives them another opportunity to find DNA. And so even if for some reason they don't have a viable profile now, it's not that all hope is extinguished because there may be another opportunity.
Are you fairly confident that there is a second crime scene in the Nancy Guthrie case?
I mean, sure, she had to be held somewhere. That alone is a crime, right? If she's kidnapped and held against her will, that place she's being held is a second crime scene. Or if she was deceased, in the car or something, again, that is also what I would call a second crime scene. And so it's just a matter of time before authorities close in on something like that. I really believe that with all the resources given to this case, I find it hard to imagine that there isn't a car out there that has Nancy's DNA and the perpetrator's DNA, or a place where she was held, or an item that has maybe a mixture of Nancy's DNA and the perpetrator's DNA. I mean, we know it's out there. We leave DNA everywhere. Nancy would have left DNA everywhere she was taken, and the perpetrator would have as well. So it's just a matter of finding that. And I believe, these investigators are incredible.
No, I'm talking about who's the anchor here, this lady. I forget her name.
At their jobs.
Well, Cece talks about the one thing she wants investigators to do now before it's too late, and more on how she cracked that cold case of the 12-year-old girl, only to find out the killer was in her own family tree. To hear that full conversation, check out the Truth of the Matter podcast. You can use your phone, scan the QR code on your screen, find it on News Nation's YouTube page right now, or listen wherever you get your podcasts.
Thank you for watching.
Oh my God, we got Cuomo'd. Oh yeah, she's a baddie for sure. Friggin' Fredo. They need to kick this Cuomo promo off permanently.
Make it permanent! Make it permanent now!
Look at his face. Fredo. Expert on the latest in the Nancy Guthrie case. Dagger to the chest. Make it permanent, bro. Give me a second here. Hold on. Make it permanent. Where is that? I saw a clip. I think it was. Where the frick is this?
like the opinion.
All right, hold on. I'm going to play this. This is from the interview room. I think this is from Tonight Show. It's just like a 20-minute clip.
Yeah, you said this. You said that. No, that's not what I'm going to ask. Just like the opinions of this panel here, I'm curious as to what type of personality, based on the key takeaways that we have on those 5 cases, obviously are this real fast. The rarity of strangers ransom for elders. True stranger kidnappings of elderly, especially 80 plus, are among the rarest abductions. Most involve known parties or escalate from other crimes like robbery and assaults. That's what those 5 cases have shown us tonight so far. And how does this apply to the Guthrie thing? The technology and the publicity, the impact of that, the doorbell cameras like in Guthrie and DNA gloves help more than in older cases. But heavily media coverage can flood tips with hoaxes and complicate genuine ransom requests, i.e., the letters to TMZ and all the things that we all agreed that's just a lot of noise out there. And the reason for that is probably because of the publicity. And then the insider versus stranger. Many solved elderly cases involve people with prior access, workers, acquaintance, neighbors, family, friends, rather than pure strangers. Okay. And then that leads us to the very last conclusion here. Mixed motives, real cases often blend elements, i.e. financial desperation plus personal grudge or robbery that turns into extortion types of situations. Everybody tracking where that conclusion was on the 5 cases here?
Mm-hmm. No.
Anybody disagree with it?
No.
Okay. So that said, okay, Dr. Gary, with what's going on now, with what we know, what do you think, or what's the type of personality behind this situation professionally?
Well, when we're asking a question like this, I think this is where some of the statistics that we've been talking about become extremely important, because you have to think of yourself like a betting man, a betting person who's going on odds. Going on odds, this is not a situation that is likely to be sexual, although one never knows. And the suggestion would be some individual who had a mixture of motives, partially financial and partially personal. And statistically, I would also guess that there's more than one person involved. I have said all along that I feel that there's some mastermind behind it, and then some idiot or idiots that were basically either hired or were part of a conspiracy who are going to benefit financially. I think that's who we're seeing on the camera, for example. Now, there is no doubt in my mind, based on statistics, that one of the people in this story has had more than a passing interaction with the victim. That they are familiar with her home, they're familiar with her habits, apparently, and so forth. And it's not enough to say, oh, they saw her on a TV show and got some glimpses of her. No, there's an intimacy there that suggests to me someone in this story knew her, and consequently was probably not just motivated by money. So I think that what you've got is some sort of scheming character who can compartmentalize their personality, who might even look like a helper or a kind person or someone who was doing some service or was connected in some way, who this poor victim might have even thought of as a benign force, who actually had some reason to desire to eliminate her, even if it was as simple as, I hate you because you're in the way. And I think that that individual would have collaborated in some way with some other people where it was simply a matter of practicality, money, or something like that. And I think what you have is some nexus that we haven't yet discovered between someone that has some connection to her, and that could be anything from a person who, you know, installs something at the house, or is a cleaning person, or a mail person, or something like that, all the way up to someone who very intimately knows her, has been in some way, I suspect, in connection with a person or persons who are sort of the front of the situation. And therefore, what you have is some mixture of personal cause and group enterprise, which is consequently throwing everybody off. Because what you're seeing is a mixture of psychologies, a mixture of intelligence levels, a mixture of what looks like intimacy and comfort, and then looks sort of like making amateur hour mistakes and things like that. And you put it all together, and I think what everybody's getting confused about is this isn't just one person being profiled. It seems to be some group of people. So my strong sense is some person with character pathology who can compartmentalize and just thinks of people in a Machiavellian, objectified way, and basically said, look, you know, I'm tired of you, you got to be out of the way, or I want your money, or something like that, and was clever enough to not do so solo. And that's my sense of things, and I'm curious if everybody agrees or disagrees, but that's how it looks. And I don't know who that person is that I think has some interaction with her, but I think we'd agree this is not, someone in this story is not a total stranger to this woman. You know, she might not have recognized who woke her up, but she might have recognized the person behind the curtain, you know. So anybody disagree with any of this, or what do you think?
Gary, I have a question. Is it unusual to see a combination, as you said, of a personal cause and group enterprise? Because the last 5 cases we just went over, it was an either or. Is it highly unusual to see a crime where you've got elements of both?
Well, where you tend to see it is when a person hires a hitman or a group of people to do something. So someone goes, meets someone in an alley and says, how much money do you want to break so-and-so's legs? Okay, here you go. And then it looks like a stranger has attacked you when it's really a personal cause thing. So it would have to be a situation like that, where somebody was just paid to do it, or somebody was part of a cabal of people where they were familiar with the frustrations that this particular person had, or the motive of this person, and they said, what's in it for me?
Wait a minute. Did you guys see somebody who's being rude to Karen on the show? Wow. Why?
Right, you know,
what the hell did she do?
Another possibility is someone has a debt or something to a group of people, and you say, I can't pay it. And they say, all right, we'll help you out with this. What do we got to do to get this money? Okay, well, if you go and do this for me, some money will become available, and then I could pay you off. You know, that I've seen that kind of thing too. But I really think that what's unusual about this is that we don't have the clear story of like a hiring situation. Well, if that were to come out, this wouldn't be that uncommon of a story. Dan, I'm sure you're aware of things like that. You know, people paying off a hitman or somebody to break in and commit a crime. It happens in where you want a good cover story for a purpose thing. So, I mean, Illinois, you must have lots of cases. Certainly in its history, there was a lot of mob examples of that.
Sure.
But anybody disagree with that?
And what do you think? What weigh in here on your thought process here?
My thought process is I maintain that I think that it's for financial gain. How it is, I'm not real sure, but my gut is telling me it's involving money. I believe it's that person is somehow tied very closely to the family.
We agree.
Yeah, yeah. That has been my gut from since I started following the Nancy Guthrie case.
And I should be clear when I say we agree. I don't mean I suspect a member of the family. I simply mean someone close to her. Someone close to her in some way.
Pretty close.
Yeah, I think clarity for this panel. John, what do you? Before I say what I'm thinking, John, what's your opinion?
Very often when I look at crimes, I fall back on the old Roman expression, cui bono, who benefits? Why was this done? And there must be a tangible reason. This was not some sort of nihilistic anarchy. There was a purpose behind this attack and this abduction, and which means that there must, by definition, be a connection to the victim. And I'm in agreement with Dan. Money or some sort of benefit is what is the underlying motivator on this. And I agree with Gary. I suspect we're looking at a minimum of 2 people, possibly 3.
Okay, Bob.
That's what I was thinking. I don't know. I thought 3, but
Yeah, I agree with everything that's been said so far.
I would think 3. But I 2, I guess. I don't think it was just dipshit and somebody else inside the house. I think there were at least a couple people inside the house, and then the guy on the front porch. And probably the guy on the front porch was probably the driver.
I definitely think that it's related in some way to Savannah's celebrity, and that it's at least 2 people, perhaps 3, and that they are close to the family in some way. Not necessarily Savannah, but
I am a new member, but you are streaming TAR, and who knows if it's with their permission, because they pretty much nailed this case. Okay.
close to the family in some way. The suspect on the video on the front porch is way too relaxed to be a random. I've totally discounted that from jump. And I do believe that that there could be some type of financial component as a collateral motive to this, but I don't think that is the overriding motive
Ed
here.
Mary's
I
Pop
think there's
47
some.
donated $5 through Super Chat. Did I hear Finding Bigfoot interview?
Yeah. Yeah, I have to find that. I'll have to find it for you. It was years ago. Like, I think it was during the vid.
It's some retribution. There's some anger toward the Guthrie family in some way.
Okay. Do you think any of the family? Let's talk about the most recent interviews that Savannah has given. I thought it was really strange that we have not heard from her sister
I'm only playing like a 20-minute clip of it anyway.
or her brother-in-law, the two main players in this particular situation, who last saw her alive and dropped her off alive. You would think at this point, if they're one cohesive unit, quote unquote, that they would have been sitting there, and in the last NBC interviews, you would have.
I would hope not. I didn't see it either, but there are people that are rude to everybody. I mean, it's part of the game. Part of the game. It's what they do.
Heard.
Though you did nail it tonight, Dr. G. And beard looking thick.
Somebody
thick, like an animal. Rawr.
Turn to them and say, "So what happened? You know, what was going on? How was she acting the night she was at your house playing games and eating dinner?" So my question is, did those interviews help or did they hurt? What's your opinion?
I wondered whether or not, and and I wish Maureen was here to answer this or to at least give us some perspective on this. But I just wonder if the FBI.
I believe Annie did. I believe they did get their Honda back. Yeah, I think so.
Where?
Pardon me?
She's watching. She was tied up. She said, I would love to have been there, but she said she was tied up. But go ahead.
Well, I'd like to get her opinion on whether or not the FBI may have coached her on what to say in these interviews in any way. And that just occurred to me. I don't have a real strong feeling about it, but I was listening to it again this morning when I was having coffee, and I just wonder.
Mama Bear 1959 donated 10 Canadian dollars through Super Chat. Love ya, Josh. You keep doing you.
It's good to see you. Thank you. Let me hold on 1 second. Yes, you did. Yes, you did find or hear a Finding Bigfoot interview. Let me show you something really quick. What is it? I'll have to find. It's somewhere.
That was an odd interview in a few ways, but obviously there's a lot of emotion there from Savannah, and of course that's understandable. The interviewer Hoda was, I don't know, I'm not sure what to say about that other than it was uncomfortable to watch her interview Savannah, and so I at this point, I really don't know what to make of the interview. A lot of people are making some comments about Cameron, the brother, and I know we talked about this the other night a little bit. I didn't find it odd that Cameron came out and made the assessment that he did for a variety of reasons. And one of them I mentioned the other night, and that is perhaps that Savannah and her immediate family have had this abduction training that a lot of celebrities have apparently, and perhaps even, and this I haven't heard this, but I've got to believe that NBC may put this type of training on or facilitate this type of training for their celebrities in this regard. So when Cameron supposedly said that, of course we don't, Savannah's just quoting him, but it didn't surprise me coming from a career military guy who is used to a fighter pilot who's used to making quick assessments of situations, and who is I would think would be very quick on his feet to come up with an answer or a solution to a problem or that kind of thing. So that didn't strike me the way it did some people, including you, Chris, I believe.
Yeah, I mean, I thought it was weird that was the first inclination. I mean, it's just, it's like, and then to add on top of that, the blowback now on this last interview is Savannah is blaming herself for the totality of this incident based on that comment. And it was, so my first inclination was, well, who did he have a previous call with his sister, meaning Annie, who was on the scene, because had she called him as well after, first, and then called Savannah because there's a gap, there's a couple-hour gap there. Does she call her brother and say, Mom's the same way, Mom's missing, she's disappeared, and is this a kidnapping or whatever? And then he, like the telephone game, he passes that on to Savannah when Savannah says, what do you think happened? And do you think I'm at fault here? Or is it because of me? And he goes, yes, sweetie, I'm sorry it was you. But, and that's why I started questioning, what are the family dynamics here? And I want to ask you guys, and Jonna, before I go there though, I want to ask you, to kind of what your thoughts are based on what we're talking, and Dan, what your thoughts are based on.
If you haven't checked out the Interview Room's new show tonight, go check it out. It was very, very good.
On what we're talking about right now on the dynamic side of this thing.
Well,
It
2 points.
may help or hurt. Go ahead.
2 points. We're relying on.
Hey, Gary, is Lamb joining us on Wednesday? I didn't see him on the email thread. I hope he is.
Perhaps the flawed, stressed men.
He is coming on? Okay. So, yeah, Diane, Gary, Dr. Gary, and I will have a really cool show on Wednesday.
Memory of Savannah as she's recounting these events. And it may even be third-hand information. So we really don't know what was said to each other. And you touched on, very briefly, other family members declining to be interviewed. And I'm not surprised at that at all. They are people that may be, and I'm just playing devil's advocate here, there may just be people who are extraordinarily uncomfortable with the idea of being videotaped or asked questions. And so I can't attach any particular significance to the fact that other members of the family haven't stepped forward to be interviewed.
Okay. Dan, what do you think of that? Do you think that's a plus or a minus right now?
The interview that Savannah gave, first of all, I think was a huge mistake. I think that there was just way too many small details that were given out, which is why I would kind of disagree with the fact of thinking that the FBI kind of scripted her on that. Unless some of that stuff was said falsely, which could be just like putting traps out, so to speak. But I just, by her sincerity, Savannah's sincerity, I don't think so. But I'm not sure. I didn't like some of the stuff that I heard from an investigative point of view, that here she's revealing little things. Just for an example, she knows that she was, no house shoes, no slippers, in pajamas.
Yeah, that was weird, wasn't it?
Yeah. Doors open. I mean, she gave away case-specific information.
Yes, and that poses a problem down the road when you get a suspect in a room and you start interrogating them. He's got a head start, or she's got a head start. I believe it's a he, has a head start on the whole investigation right from Jump Street.
Very, very interesting, as always.
Yeah, you said best use of it. No, that's not what I'm
trying to see. What is this? Josh, yeah, I do. Yeah, it's Joshua Dynamite at Gmail, or excuse me. No, it's just $.
And Eric Schultz 6865 donated $5 through Super Chat. Did brother actually use the word kidnapping to Savannah? That's weird, or Savannah is misremembering.
I think he said kidnapping for ransom is what he said. I think that's what he said. Oh, this is interesting. I thought I found this interesting, and I'd been
Search for missing.
Been wondering about this if this was going to happen, but it says Crimestoppers is now putting up money.
84-year-old Nancy Guthrie is now nearing the.
Hold on. Well, I don't know what here's the thing, Eric. I don't know what he was briefed on. So it's possible, I guess.
2-month mark. There are still no arrests and no clear.
But I do think it's interesting that Crimestoppers is now putting up another $100,000 reward on top of the what is it? $1.2 million. So what is this? $1.3 million now? 1.3 million? Is that what we're at now?
Answers. Her daughter, Savannah, speaking out for the first time about the turmoil she has experienced since her mother went missing and announcing she will be going back to work at the Today Show. Investigators say Nancy was likely abducted from her Arizona home despite tens of thousands of tips. The case appears to have stalled in recent weeks. The reward for information in the case has now surged past $1 million, with newly added funds hoping to generate fresh leads as the family continues to plead for her return. Let's bring in Michael Hubie, president of Milwaukee Crimestoppers. Michael, good morning. Thank you so much for joining us.
Good morning. Happy to be here.
In addition to being the president of Milwaukee Crimestoppers, you are also a high-profile attorney. You're putting up $100,000 of your own money in hopes of helping find Nancy Guthrie. You even paid for a billboard in Tucson to raise awareness.
Oh, wait a minute. So this guy's offering?
We're going to show that.
I'm very confused.
Billboard in a moment. There it is. The question, many
$102,500. $102,500. Wow. So he donated this money to Crimestoppers. Okay.
Many people are wondering is why? Why help out in this case, Michael?
Well, I'm president of Milwaukee Crimestoppers. I've paid $75,000 to solve the murders of 2 small girls, and
God bless them.
I have $200,000 pending now in 5 murder cases in Milwaukee, and I was sad that an 84-year-old woman was abducted without her meds. Her heart monitor stopped. I didn't think the publicity I didn't think the crime scene was handled properly. They didn't secure the crime scene in a way I thought they should. I don't think they got all the information they could have from the crime scene. And just to be clear, my reward is for the tip that leads to the arrest of the perpetrator. It's not to bring Mrs. Guthrie back. That's what Savannah's doing. My reward is to find the perpetrator. Some people will only come forward if they can do so anonymously, which they can do with Crimestoppers. Some people will only come forward if there's a reward, which they can get from Crimestoppers. So I think that people should focus more on calling Crimestoppers and not call the FBI or the sheriff.
Why can tips being anonymous make the difference when it comes to this investigation, Michael?
Because some people won't come forward if they're not anonymous. They don't want their friend to know they turned them in or got a reward for doing it. Well, the friend goes to prison and they get a reward.
Sure.
And people often are called snitches, so they don't want to come forward.
Savannah Guthrie sat down for an emotional first interview with the Today Show. She touched briefly on the notes that were sent to her mom. Here's a little bit of what she shared.
There are a lot of different notes, I think, that came. And I think most of them, it's my understanding, are not real. And I didn't see them. But I believe the 2 notes that we received, that we responded to, I tend to believe those are real.
Michael, based on your experience, what does that tell you now that we have a bit more information about the notes that are being evaluated? What might make certain ones stand out as credible?
Well, I think the notes are fake because if somebody kidnaps a person for ransom, what they want to do is, as soon as possible, get the ransom money and return the person. And I don't see any of that here. I don't see proof of life. I don't see a credible ransom note. I think these are fake.
Weeks ago, investigators released that surveillance video that we've all seen. It shows a masked man at Nancy's front door the night she disappeared. That detail has become such a major focus on the investigation. How much does this video that we're showing our viewers, how much does it help? And why might they still be holding back when it comes to investigators maybe hitting some snags when it comes to this investigation?
Well, the perpetrator is masked. I don't know how much the video is going to help, but someone might recognize him, and I'm going to pay to put up another billboard that shows the perpetrator. Like,
damn, this guy must be caked up. And he's just like wanting to catch people. Good for him.
A wanted poster.
So basically, he's just saying this isn't to return. This isn't to return Miss Nancy Guthrie. It's to catch whoever's responsible for this.
And maybe someone will recognize him and come forward, which often happens.
It's interesting.
Thank you for watching. Subscribe below and download our News Nation app.
Seriously, they really need to get rid of this promo. With they turn the volume up 30%. Get rid of it. Make it permanent. It's got to go.
Make it permanent! Make it permanent now!
All right, guys, I'm out of here. I'll be back tomorrow, and then I'll be putting up a... so we have a show Wednesday with Diane Fanning, I believe. We got Fredoed. Diane Fanning, Dr. Gary, John Lamb, yours truly. It'll be good. I'll be back tomorrow as well. And we'll see what Brian's doing in the desert. So that'll be interesting. Matt, going through the front is fine as well. Don't forget that. Appreciate you guys. Thank you for being here. Glad there's no more backdoor talk.
Make it permanent! Make it permanent now!
I found what I was looking for. Mary, here, hold on. Hold on. Check this out. Hold on. Oh, crap. What the hell? You'll find this really funny, actually. So, like, a local news outlet wrote an article about my podcast, even it's so long ago. It's like April... I'll find the link for you, but It says the No Big Deal podcast based out of Humboldt County takes on one of the biggest legends this week. We're in a Bigfoot hotspot. Host Joshua Diaz, who lives in Eureka, says, however, Cliff Barackman was his name. Starred in the Animal Planet's Finding Bigfoot, says the largest hotspot for reports now in northern Kentucky and Washington. During the show, guest Cliff Barackman talks about the time he thinks he saw a Sasquatch. Oh, man. Those are, God, those days are, this is so long ago. I wonder what these horrible comments say. Hey, interdimensional beings. They had to pivot to the claim that Bigfoot is an interdimensional being. The only thing sad and embarrassing is your depth of understanding. Some folks don't believe it. Good Lord. I always thought that was funny. She was making fun of us. The Humboldt County It wasn't Humboldt. I don't know what the hell that means. Humboldt County Podcast takes on the large subject. I don't know if I like this article now. Image from Harry and the Hendersons. Got to make it permanent. No, this is Kai Kemp, or redheaded black belt. It's my bad.
Dude looks like a. Make it permanent! Make it permanent now!
Later, skaters. I've been doing this. Cupcake, thank you. I just received that. That's very kind of you. Thank you very much. You want some haters?
You're going to have the haters, right? Haters are going to hate. You're going to have the haters, right? Haters are going to hate. Haters are going to hate. You're going to have the haters, right? Haters are going to hate.
Dude looks like a lady.